So this will be a short one. This is just like a mini Final Fantasy 3 event. It's kind of like the Cloud's Awakening event that we just had for Final Fantasy 7. It's a single banner, but it does have an accompanying mini event with it. And the single banner is something to behold. We see the resurgence of Onion Knight. And he has 2 USBs released immediately. Only person that had, not the only person that has 2 USBs, but the only person that has had 2 released at once. And what we get here is the Mace of Zeus for Onion Knight. It's magic focused, and where his second USB is attack focused. But the first one is Seal Wisdom, Heiska, Magic Mind, and resistance plus 30%. So that already is really good for a mage team. Quick Cast Magic 3 to everybody. Again, really good for a mage team. And X Mode Sage. We'll go take a look at that right now. X Mode Sage is, he gets magic plus 30% and a small increase in black magic damage. It's just really good. So not only is he a huge party buffer for a mage team with this, but he also turns himself into a pretty damn potent mage himself. Next on the list, we have Onion Knight's physical USB. Sealed Might, Party Haste, attack 50%, and critical 50%, all in one USB. And Self X Mode Ninja. We'll go take a look at that now. X Mode Ninja is attack 30% to himself, so he's super buffing himself, just like he was doing with the magic. And stacking cast time reduction with each action up to 8 stages. I'm going to go take a look at this. Actually, I think there's a Reddit article about it. So give me a second. I think I can fetch the picture that explains it. This is... I don't even know where to start. You know what? Just give me Unleers. Sure, it explains it a hell of a lot better than that. A while back? This is active in Japan right now. Unless your a while back means within the last like 5 days. X-Ninja. So, attack plus 30%, cast speed times 1. So, normal cast speed plus 0.3 increase for each attack used for the duration of the status. And the status is 15 seconds, so it's really not that big of a deal. It will amount to something, but you're really looking at it more for the attack plus 30%, which is great, considering the rest of what it has. So, I mean, Party Heiska, attack plus 50% and critical 50% is a huge, huge party buff. Ramza's always going to have a use just because of his Legend Materia and, you know, just a wide variety of stuff he has with his USB and stuff like that. But this is extremely potent for a physical team, even though it's basically Super Shout. So next up, this is the first banner that has 4 6-stars on it. And every banner from this point on in Japan has 4 6-stars on it. So we got 4 USBs here, and both the other USBs are really good. The next up on the list is Refia's USB. And as we've seen a lot tonight, Refia, just with her BSB, is pretty insane. And it's a little crazy, but with her USB, she becomes even better. 10 single target fire, non-elemental, physical, and fire, and self-quick cast 1, and high critical. High critical is a plus 50% crit damage. And gain quick cast 1 when using fire damage abilities for a period of time. This is crazy. This is meant to replace her BSB, because with her BSB, this is out of this world. It's so powerful that 40,000 damage a turn, that's her cap with her command 1, is not enough. It's not enough. When you have a 50% crit rate, and it's not overlap. It doesn't overlap at all. High critical will stack with the high critical on her command 1. So she will not just be doing twice as much damage with her attacks when she crits. She will be doing times 2.5 damage when she crits. So if you had attacked and hit for 2,000, if you crit, you would instead be doing 5,000, where normally someone, when they crit, would be doing 3,000. She has a huge damage boost with the fact that these stack. The problem is there's so much damage increase that it can't be contained by her limitation, which is the 40k per turn, which is a small limitation indeed, but I think what I'd rather be doing, unless I had an overabundance of soul break points to use, is just use her USB and then just use 5-star monk abilities. Roberto, thank you very much for the follow. Yes, Cloud USB would release her from the confines of that cap and turn her into the most disgusting killing machine ever known. She would be dealing 2.5 times 2.5 damage 100% of the time due to Cloud's USB. And you wouldn't want to actually do what you said, Einhar, because her or the Cloud 100% crit bonus would be overwritten by Refia's BSB cast. So you'd probably want a Refia BSB, Cloud USB, Refia USB, and then do it. But honestly, this is a lot of setup. And I suppose this person could be a DPS engine by herself. Yeah, she'd probably be doing upwards of around 180, 200k a turn. It would be a little sick. Would she dethrone Raijin? Raijin, no, because Raijin still has the most powerful single attack that can be done. That's his throne. And there's still nothing that removes him from it. But it's a fun throne. It's usually not all that effective, though. I have seen some D300. Bahamut, the Final Fantasy III Bahamut, with the when you hit 40%, he start healing himself with Kiraja every time you hit him. The best way to get around him healing himself with Kiraja every time he gets hit is to deal an incredible amount of damage in a lesser amount of attacks. And the best way to do that would be with the most powerful attack in the game, which is Raijin's BSB Command 1. So, there are always going to be little interesting uses for Raijin's BSB because of what it does. Raijin's BSB he's a Dragon Ball Z character. He charges, and then he unleashes, which is usually limited by the fact that he can only do 100k, due to the fact that his Command 1 caps out at 10 attacks. But with the introduction of Cloud's USB, that allows him to exceed that cap, and nothing lives up to that amount of damage. The Refia USB, this is a recurrence, correct? It was first introduced in the next Final Fantasy III event for Global. Which I do suggest Skipping now. So anyway, this is really freaking good. This is physical fire damage on the highest tier. Next up, we have Cloud of Darkness as USB. And Cloud of Darkness is a character that I really like as well. I want to see what that 4 means. Realm Synergy Dark Up, that sucks. Oh well. But our USB is 7 area of effect, Dark and Lightning, and Dark, and Party Magic and Resistance, 30%. That's pretty cool so far. And additionally, it gives her a Chase, where she casts Thunder when using Dark Element damage abilities. So this is kind of deep, so we're going to go and look it up on the spreadsheet. Get a much better picture of what it really does. So Dark and Lightning 6 group. Yeah. And Lightning Follow-Up is going to be the name of the status. It's a 15-second status and casts Lightning after dealing dark damage with an ability. Confused in the naming scheme, but as long as you understand what's going on. So it's just area of effect 4.4 damage every time you use a darkness ability. That's a nice chase. That's a nice chase. It's obviously, unfortunately, capped at 10,000 because it's one attack, but that's still a very powerful chase. 4.4 is going to do a lot of damage. So that's pretty good. Can Cloud of Darkness use gloves? I don't believe so. Whips, staves and rods, and daggers, obviously. So this is a pretty good Darkness Mage USB. And what helps this out a lot is the fact that we have Cloud of Darkness as BSB2 later on. But first off, we're going to look at the first BSB on the banner, which is Ingus's BSB2, which is quite excellent by itself. But doesn't overlap much with his BSB1, so they can both still be useful, which is good because I like his BSB1 still to this day. And it becomes better with this event, too. Here we go. We got Crystal Shield 6. Minor Petrify Resist. Again, didn't he have Minor Petrify Resist on his BSB1 as well? Karate Kid. Thank you very much for the follow. We got 8 single target Earth physical damage, and Party Earth Radiant Shield. Earth Radiant Shield is an interesting status. It's very similar to the Radiant Shield that we have now, except it's reduced in effectiveness. So, say you use Alphino's deployment tactics right now. You get 100% of the damage that you take is also taken by the boss. Earth Radiant Shield is different. It means 75% of the damage that you take is taken by the boss. But the catch is, it's done as earth damage. So, if you're able to... well, right off the bat, if you have a normal vulnerability, which would be 50%, that means that damage will do about 100% damage to the boss. And the give and take there is that can further be increased by imperiling the boss. So if you have any Earth Imperil, you can get that up to, 100%. That's your max. So that 75% damage return will turn into 150% damage returned. So this is a lot of damage returned to the boss in Earth Vulnerable fight, and that's where you would want to be using this. So let's take a look at the commands, even though we have a nice entry. We see Titan Drive, which is 3 times single target, Earth Non-Elemental, and Self Night Plus. That's plus 15% damage to Night abilities 3 times. So the next 3 attacks, if they are Night abilities, will be doing plus 15% damage. And his second command is Aegis Form, where he gets attack plus 50% and defense plus 50%. That's interesting. I think it's more useful considering the ability that debuts with this event. Knights get a new ability with the event called Earth the Bringer. And you guessed it, it is Guardbringer, except instead of being holy, it is Earth. So Earth Knights have a massive weapon available to them that Holy Knights only had before. And Ingus, being one of the best Earth Knights in the game, really likes the fact that that exists. And I believe that that is what this is all about here, is giving him plus damage with the attack plus 50% and giving him 50% defense to use with Earthbringer. So what you'd probably be doing with Ingus would be Guardbringering, not Guardbringer, Gaia Cross, sorry, another G, and then Earthbringer. So you Gaia Cross, Earthbringer, and with Lionheart or something, and get your Soul Break generation going while you're taunting attacks. So it's a good BSB. They both go together very well. His BSB1 and BSB2, and especially if you have a CSB, then he's basically one of the most versatile, best Earth characters in the game. So, yep, that's good. That's good. That's good. This is good, but made better by the next thing we're going to look at, and good. So, good banner so far. Next, we have Cloud of Darkness's BSB2. Bizarre Staff. Please tell me that this 8 means it is something that increases elemental damage. It does, thank goodness. Dark damage up. Okay, the BSB2 itself is 0 type Wave Cannon. 6 area of effect Dark Non-Elemental, Party Magic of Mind 30%, and Party Doomed, and Party Haste. So it's a Magic and Mind Haska, Burst Soul Break, just like Mog, except it also dooms the party, which sounds like a bad thing, but it's actually good, because there are going to be rare instances where you don't like the fact that your party is doomed, because when you cast this, you should be able to finish the battle within 45 seconds. If you don't, then there's probably something going on. The Doom is really good because there's benefits. Correct. As Chad has mentioned right now already, is that it synergizes well with Sid Reigns. Sid Reigns does not have to waste a turn casting Memento Mori. You don't really mind casting Memento Mori most of the time, because the 30% magic buff lasts for 50 seconds, but this makes it so you don't have to, so you can do other things instead. And it's not like Reigns has really much of a problem generating magic. I mean, consider the combo already. You have Magic of Mind plus 30%. You have Doom, which increases the damage that his stuff does. And you have Magic and Defense plus 30% because of Reigns' Burst Soul Break entry. And you have the 20% from Burst Mode. So you've already got a 30-30 and a 20 going on Reigns. And the ability to get 30 more with the Reigns' command too. So you don't really mind losing Memento Mori and like getting Doom from an external source, because it allows you to deal more damage in a shorter amount of time. That's the name of the game. If you've got Reigns and Cloud of Darkness, as SM373 has mentioned, the boss is going to die within 45 seconds. That's just the way it works. This is an awesome burst. This is an awesome burst, and it actually goes together really well with her USB. We're going to take a look at the commands, and you'll see why. The commands are Ura Ball of Blasting, 3 single target, Dark Non-Elemental, and Self Darkness plus 50% 3, and she gets, this is Stitch in Time. 30% increased magic, 30% reduced defense. So she gets Stitch in Time, she can increase her darkness damage, and then she can go and use Dark Zone, because obviously she's going to be doomed, so she's increasing the damage on her Dark Zone. And remember, Dark Zone gets a buffed 4 hits. Dark Zone has an insane multiplier if you're under Doom. It is very much benefited, very, very much benefited by the increase in hits. Dark Zone gets a new life with the ability buff, so yeah, Cloud of Darkness gets pretty friggin' awesome with this banner. I already thought she was good. I think her BSB1 is really nice. The Darkness and Holy damage and then she gives all radiant shield to the party. I really think that's good because that does a lot of damage back to the boss. And next up, let's see if we can continue this. Unfortunately, we don't really. This is fine. It's fine for someone like me who doesn't. I do have a Medica in Final Fantasy 3, but I really hate using Arc, and I've been reminded when I did the Final Fantasy 3 Torment CM that Arc Super Soul Break is not sufficient for long drawn out fights. You really do. Healer BSBs never go out of style because that sustain is so powerful in the fact that you can just keep on using free abilities turn after turn and healing the party, where the Super Soul Break wasn't cutting it, even though it's a really powerful one. So what we get here is Aria is a new Final Fantasy 3 character that's going to be released in the next 3 event, where she gets a Kuraka Medica on her burst, Party Minor Bar Fire. I will go and take a look at that and what that is in the moment, and burst mode. We'll take a look at her commands, which is a zero cast Kiraga in high regen. This is the exact same thing as Mog's command 1, and Ephemeral Wish, Medica H2. That's just your normal Medica. So we got good commands. Always love the zero cast time. I'm sure anybody who's used zero cast time cure command understands that it sees heavy use. But we're gonna go take a look at what that bar fire is, because I don't think I've mentioned that before. Minor resist fire. It grants minor resist fire to the team for how long? 15 seconds. And it is cumulative 10% fire resistance. Not that strong, but that's a 10% reduction against a fire, a boss that's really dishing out fire damage. It's something, and it's okay. I would definitely prefer something else. I think there's stronger bursts out there, but I think what I'm looking for from this banner, personally, this is me personally, it is the inverse of Minor Imperil. Not actual Imperil, but Minor Imperil. I'm personally looking, I want a healer burst, and this is where I get it. But otherwise, I'm not really thrilled. This is not unlikely, even against a fire boss, going to be your healer burst of choice. You're likely going to be using one of the power bursts, what's his name? Larsa, Iris, Vanille, someone like that. Just that's better at healing. But this is going to be excellent in Final Fantasy 3. And that's what I look at it for. And this is probably the most unfortunate choice for the banner. Is Arc's BSB1. He gets a BSB2 in the next Final Fantasy 3 event, but they decided to put Arc's BSB1 on this. And it's another healer burst. So that's kind of depressing that there's 2 healer bursts on this banner. And they're both not that powerful. They're not going to break their way onto an A team, that's for sure. At least Aria's has a chance. That Minor Bar Fire may be what you're looking for. Minor Fire Resist. I'll try to call it that. The Bar Fire is just a JP term that they're using. But 5 single target, Holy Non-Elemental White Magic damage. Medica Cura, H55 is Cura. Self-Mind 30%, and Burst Mode. And the Burst commands are... Alright, yeah. Regular cast Kiraja and Asuna. So this is an Ultra Cure. Literally just Ultra Cure. And his second command is a Medica. It's fine. It has those 2 things, but you never want to see it, especially on someone as limited, I guess, as Arc. You never want to see an Ultra Cure on your burst commands. it frees up an ability slot, but the thing about white mages is you're rarely using Mako Might or Dr. Mark's teachings on them. So what are you doing for the start of the fight? Are you attacking? Are you going to use Protecta, 6 times? Or are you going to carry a heal anyway? And then have an overlap with that heal in the ability of your burst commands. I just don't like it. I like people that bring things that you can't find in abilities into their burst commands, like an instacast burst command. So I don't like Ark's Burst Soul Break 1 at all. However, it is a burst, and it would increase the ability to hone and stuff because of that second command. So I would like one of these, but if I were to pull one when I pull on this banner, I would much rather it be Aria's instead of Ark's. So next up in this onslaught of Burst Soul Breaks, we're on number 4 already, by the way. Number 5 is Unionite's Burst. Y'all know what this does. I'm not going to go into it. Heiska, attack magic, plus 30%. It's the hybrid burst. And it probably doesn't have as much usefulness at this point in the game as it does for us now, but it will always be useful because Onion Knight is so versatile of a character. You can just throw him onto a party and he'll be effective. So it's good. And next up, this is something we've seen a lot tonight. This is Refia's Burst Soul Break. Obviously really good. Excellent consolation prize if you're unable to pick up her USB here. But if you are able to pick up her USB and her BSB, then you have a combo worth looking into for doing some cloud USB nuttery. She could probably destroy... No, I'm not probably. She will absolutely kill a boss by herself. You could have, 3 healers and a support character, or whatever combination you want for the other 4, and then just have Refia, and she will win. She will win the game for you. Next up, we finally reached the end of the burst. That makes 6, right? 6 burst soul breaks. Next, we have 4 legend materia. And you know what that means? No super soul breaks on this banner. 4 legend materia, Onion Knight, and his LMR. Start battle with Instacast 2. Alright, sure. Perfect. That's great. I'll take that all the time. Refia, low chance to double cast fire damage abilities. That's a 25% chance to double cast fire damage. Yes. Remember that problem we were talking about with Refia hitting a 400,000 or 40,000 damage cap per turn? Well, this helps with that problem. Now she can double cast. And another thing that helps with that, and I'm going to mention that now because this is a good time, is because you're doing so much damage with Refia and you're hitting the damage cap so readily, she can, instead of using a 30% damage materia, she can instead use a double cast record materia instead. So this, combined with that, really, really pumps up Refia's damage potential. What stat does the cape give okay on master? Magic and strength? What cape? Is that... Oh, onion cape. Attack... Yeah, I'm assuming yes, call. 17 attack, 17 magic. I'm assuming it gives that. I guess I can just go look for you. Oh, no, that's what I meant. I was trying to extrapolate the answer. Because the light armor itself gives attack and magic, I was saying, okay, well, it probably gives attack and magic for mastering as well. But I will check for you. Oh, it wouldn't be on the screen. It does. Attack and magic. Okay, so that's really good. This is really good. And Cloud of Darkness. Start battle with End Dark. This is good for Cloud of Darkness, not with her BSB2, because her BSB2 is your Faith Good Heiska. So that's going to be one of your Mako Might Dr. Mock's teachings in your party. So what would you use this with? Likely, if you had either her BSB, like Mech said, it's a great with her BSB1, and with her USB, because what you're going to be doing with her USB is not casting it immediately and building up to it. Likely with some Memento Mori and Dark Zone or Dire Heal shenanigans. There you go. That's but it's mostly with her BSB one. I think they worked really well together. So, I mean, definitely not on the level of the others, like this and this, but still good. And hold on, I want to start checking more. Fire damage up on 14, fire damage up on 14. That's it. I believe that's Refia's BSB. Yeah. So no elemental increasing damage elemental increasing equipment inside the Legend Materia relics. And lastly, we have Ark's Robe of Lords, not Warlords. Up to medium mind up based on number of white magic abilities used. This sucks. And it's on Ark. So another reason it sucks. Ark just sucks. Why did they make Ark bad? They gave him that really awesome Super Soul Break 2 way back in the day, which was so good for so long. It still is good for a lot of situations. Just everything they've given him after that has just been piss poor. I don't really understand. Anyway, if you haven't realized, this is an awesome banner. It's an insane banner. Like, Refia and Onion Knight are two of the, like, SS tier characters in the game. And they're backed up by Cloud of Darkness, who just roars onto the scene and says, "Hey, remember me? I'm a Final Fantasy III character too, so that means I, by default, have to be awesome. And my name's not Ark, so I'm allowed to be awesome." So yeah, there's just a lot of really good shit on this banner. And looking at the calendar of events, we have this one. If it appears where it appeared for JP, we don't know, because I mean our Cloud's Awakening was shuffled. But let's assume that it did appear for us here. Before it came the Final Fantasy VI event, I don't plan on pulling on that. It has a good first banner, but I won't plan on. I do not have any plans on pulling on that. Final Fantasy 13 has a nice first banner, just like the 6 event. However, I have no plans on pulling on that. Here we go. We have Final Fantasy 12, which has a first banner I do plan on pulling on. So that'll give me a couple events to hopefully stock up like 100 Mithril to throw with this banner. Hopefully more. Hopefully I will have saved up more after pulls on 12 and Tactics. These two banners are probably going to drain me. But give it a couple, and then I'll be on this as well. So this is going to be a hopscotch era, because we have Tactics, then we have 9, no, 12, yes, then 2, no, 3, yes, and I'm not sure what's next. I think, is Type 0 next? Yeah, I think so. And what did I plan on pulling on before Tactics? Not 10. God. RIP Final Fantasy X banners. Ugh. Final Fantasy IV. I wanted to pull on this so bad. And I just don't think I'll be able to. Because I really like Ursula. I think Yang would be a good consolation Earth Monk. I love Golbez. I love Golbez so much. I think I'm a little down on Refia now. Yeah, I think she's probably still really good. Just, I think with the ability upgrade and the fact that Ogopogo really just... She didn't get improvements while everyone else did, because Ogopogo was already good. And that's primarily why I was so high on Rydia after this banner. She gets a really big water summon thing, and she can do a lot of area of effect. And I guess that's my problem, is if you've seen the way I use Alphino, it's mostly as a single target character with his first commands, and he does a lot of damage. And when I have to do area of effect damage with him, he's really good. And I think that's a lot of what I'm going to be seeing with Refia. She's really good at area of effect water damage, but she suffers a bit for single target. Anyway, I do think it's a really good banner. I think it's the Earth stuff that chased me away, because there's a lot of Earth stuff on the banner. And I'm going to be pretty good on Earth by this point. Hopefully. Hopefully. Because I'll be pulling on the Final Fantasy V Bart's banner. And that has a lot of Earth on it. Dorgon and Bart's BSB3 and Bart's USB. That's a ton of Earth. So what I'm going to really be doing is hoping to see Golbez things on a festival. Golbez USB, I love it. I love his USB and BSB together so much. Golbez is one of my favorite characters in the game. FFRK BSB2 is great too, but doesn't do Earth damage. I wouldn't call Refia top tier. She'll be A. She'll be A tier after that banner. For me. That's my opinion. Yeah, I'm, saving GOT for after I end stream. Which is going to be soon. Because I finished what I had planned on doing tonight. So this was interesting. The era that we're in right now, you know, Final Fantasy VIII had a really good banner. Final Fantasy VII, really good banner. 15, really good. 11, really good. 5, really good. 4, really good. 6, really good. And then we stop at 2. So everything up from this point up was had a really good banner and was like S tier, high tier potential for everybody. And I guess, I don't know, I guess you could say the same about the banners starting here. No, that's not even true, because I don't think the 9 event is that good. But they kind of space them out a little bit. Tactic is really good. 12, really good. 13 has a really good banner for ice. 6 has a really good banner for fire. And 3 is just really, really, really good. Tired of saying really good. I don't really know what you're talking about with the food espionage. I do wish we knew more about next week. So there's really a limited amount of stuff I can do here. Notice I didn't do an event preview for Final Fantasy IV. I have a lot of it typed up already and ready to go. But there was no point, since the event is going to be a few weeks from now, a month from now. So there was no point. It's better that I do the preview closer to the event, because things in the game change from week to week. Our attitudes change. What we know about the future changes. Not farming Final Fantasy Tactics Torment. What do I have for Holy Orbs? Yeah, I mean, it is going to be the Rebirth stuff, but we don't know if it's just the Rebirth stuff. Oh. My food costumes. Yeah, they are very good disguises, very inconspicuous. Yeah, Final Fantasy Tactics Torment will be on Tuesday, I suppose. We should have had that in mind, right? Torment Dungeons coming soon. Yep. 8 Tactics. How many Holy Orbs do I have? 80... Oh, no, 112. Plus 90, so I have 200 Holy Orbs. I guess I don't need to farm it. I probably will anyway, just because. It's a better deal than doing dailies. Jesus, that's an expensive headset. Better sound awesome. Well, I think it's a lock event more than a Terra event. Terra doesn't get anything new, except for a BSB2, which is... It is the event that says, alright, Locke is awesome. And he does. Turns into an awesome character in the event. 90 Wisdom and 30 Vitality Sketch. That sounds like a excellent use of money, Dragon. What orbs do you think it uses, Shadow? It's primary holy. I think. I'm guessing. Primary holy. Holy earth and fire. So the Final Fantasy II Torment ends on the 14th, and the Final Fantasy Tactics Torment starts on the 8th. I would probably keep farming fire until the end of 2, and then I'll start on Holy. I haven't dived anybody yet. Should I? I should probably wait until I'm done with the Final Fantasy V event. Because that'll be a cutoff point where I won't be spending any mithril for very long after that.